Don't get blinded by the light from fame. We're all ordinary people at the end of the day. We make decisions, some good, some bad, but we all pushing for things we never had.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Everyday people trying to make a way.
It's just us.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Trying to make a difference step by step each day. It's just us.
Hi, I'm Charlene. You know, women have always faced the conversation of image. We hear it in the media, we see it in news articles and on newspapers. Oh, she's so pretty, we'll hear people say, or her face looks so youthful, or I like her clothes and her shoes and her hair. We always hear these conversations. And we, as women, form our self-esteem and our perception of ourselves based on the external conversations that people have about us. We very seldom, however, talk about makeup. What does cosmetics, what does wearing makeup do for a woman? Is it all just in making her look pretty or look acceptable? Sometimes it's necessary for women to wear makeup. So we're going to talk about that on today's show. Joining me later on in this show is Miss Eva Jane Bunkley. Eva is a celebrity makeup artist. She's also an entrepreneur and a filmmaker. And later on in this show, we're going to have some poetry. Lady Divine, Miss Olivia Sharp, is coming in from North Carolina. She's going to entertain us with some of her work, and she's going to talk to us about why she does what she does. It's just us. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. Be right back.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
I am so excited to have joining me Miss Eva Jane Bunkley. Eva was with us on the very first pilot for It's Just Us. It's so good to see you again.
I am so happy to be welcomed back.
Absolutely.
That's definitely a compliment.
Yes, this is one of your homes.
I love it. I love it.
Share your story with our audience. We're going to talk about body image and self-esteem and all that good stuff. Let's hear your story first.
Well, I can say growing up, I was, I don't know, maybe a little awkward. I was very, very thin, extremely thin. I mean, extreme. Those were all the jokes. You know, the things the kids hone in on you about. That was the joke. You know, toothpick and all that. I heard all of that. But as I got older, it's just interesting how you kind of embrace, you know, things about yourself that maybe were the things that kids kind of picked on you about or whatever. I'm like, you know, I'm thin and that's that. Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
And actually, as I've gotten older, I've filled out a little more. So this is like the thickest I've been in life. And it's kind of refreshing. I'm like, oh, I have some curves. This is kind of cool. But the whole thing about body image and self-esteem, of course, a lot of that goes together. In a lot of it is from external. You know, and your childhood shapes your perceptions in a lot of ways. One thing that I think I've not quite mastered, but I concentrate on growing in, is learning to set my environment with people around me who are nurturing.
Yes.
You know, and people who accept me for me. And I think that's a maturity type of issue when people, you know, just look at the outer, outer, when you're searching for your spouse or whatever. Ooh, I just want them to look a certain way, you know? But really the heart of a person and the character of a person, that's gonna be, of course, what's key. And we learn that as we get older.
Yeah.
But getting back to the self-esteem portion, being a Christian, I believe that there are certain times you're called upon to minister to people in certain ways, and you're going to have to come outside of yourself and outside of your own comfort zone and that kind of thing. And you might talk to some people and interact with some people who aren't the nicest or the kindest, or maybe rub your emotions the wrong way. They could be friends, they could be family members, that kind of thing. So I think it's a a balance with how you protect your heart to a certain degree, because that can wear on your self-esteem and say, you know, when people come at you with something really that's coming out of them towards you, directed at you, not being able to always take those types of things personally.
Yeah.
And it's challenging. It's one of those fine lines, I believe, that you walk.
And you know, it's interesting for what you do in the world, being in cosmetics and makeup and all that good stuff. What were your thoughts in wanting to pursue that as something that you do? I know that's not who you are, but it's something that you do. What was your driving force to want to focus on that?
It is very much about something I do. There are a lot of makeup artists who I don't take anything away from, but they just love makeup. That's what they love. They love, oh, I just love get something new in makeup, and I'm just, I'm playing it and I'm putting it on myself, and I've never been that person. To a certain degree, I used to kind of experiment and that kind of thing when I was younger, but I've gotten to be that makeup artist where if you see me with makeup, it's just like, oh, Eva, where are you going? What you have to do? I know it's just not for every day.
Right.
So me getting into makeup was more so about being around people and making them feel better about themselves in a small way outside, but that wasn't really where the heart of what it is.
Okay.
You get to know people and you get to counsel people in that session where you're with them for that hour and you're painting their face, but yet, you know, conversation happens. So it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for you to kind of, you know, make friends, build relationships, that kind of thing, and help people.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, I want to talk about, I was doing some research, and there was so much around clothing and hair and all this other stuff, but not a lot of research around makeup and self-esteem. So we're going to really talk about that a little bit more when we come back. Be back in just a moment.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Hi, we're back. Thank you for coming back and joining us. Talking about body image in general, and self-esteem. And Eva, I read an article. I want to read what I read rather than trying to remember what I read.
Okay.
It says that cosmetics help women to conform to our society's beauty expectations. Helps us to conform to our society's beauty expectations. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I have so many thoughts about letting society or media or advertisers, marketers tell us what is beautiful, you know, and I think trends tend to be cyclical, and you know, you'll have the advertising campaigns that come around that natural is beautiful. And recently there was a model that was supposedly showing her post-pregnancy belly that turned out to be fake, and but everybody was like, oh, this is so great. Oh my goodness, it's so real.
Yeah.
But yet, on the other side, you're telling women, but this is how you should look, you know? And, you know, it's, I think when you buy into it is when you have the issues. And it's dangerous when young girls, you know, gain, you know, what their body image should be and that kind of thing, as far as just looking at magazines, and they don't understand the game behind it, and all the money behind it to sell product, because that's basically what it is.
At the end of the day, yes.
To sell product,
yes,
and to keep the economy going,
right.
And you need this,
yeah, in
order to get along in the world, for people to accept you. You need to look a certain way, and we can help you here. Just,
yeah.
So I think when young girls and when people in general realize early on that there's a whole machine behind that, then they can kind of look in the mirror and say, okay, you know, this is what I'm starting with, this is what I'm going out into the world with, and it's about enhancing it, but it's not about giving me value or making me feel better about who I am.
Yeah. And you mentioned before the break that you have that moment in the chair, well, the client is in the chair, but you have that moment with them when you're able to counsel or consult or just chat with them. So what are some of the things that people say? I know when I first sat with you, what I said was not too much, because I want to look natural.
Yeah.
What are some of the other conversations that they kind of seem to go into, make me look like something?
Yeah. Well, you know, of course that varies, and lots of times what comes out is, you know, you get to see a little more of the insecurities and things, and I think a lot of times women, we tend to point out our flaws or what we see as our flaws.
Yeah.
You know, oh well, this, and that. And it's like, in the whole grand scheme of what is going on in the world, is that important? I really, really try to give people perspective and set their emotions at ease, especially when they're in the chair. You know, I might only have one time with them. And if that's all it is, I want them to come away with a sense of peace.
Yeah.
For instance, when you're working on a bride, on her wedding day, when everything around is crazy or whatever,
Right.
and they've envisioned this day for all of their lives.
Yeah.
It's almost like to give somebody, be able to really give somebody perspective in that moment to say, look, you're marrying the man you love. Everything else is just window dressing.
Right.
You know, all the
Right.
people that are here, whatever, it's about you two. And that's really all that
Supposed
it's
to
about.
be all that it's about.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Supposed
mean,
to
you
be.
offer those little grains and morsels of what you might feel is practicality. Just look at it this way. It's not that bad. It's not that this. It's not that that. Well, you know, you're right. So when you can give somebody that, I feel my job is done, and they like what I've made them look like. They like that part too. That's but that's kind of it's hand in hand for me. For me.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh, you know, I was, this topic is still really bubbling in me, for lack of a better word. And it started when I was out in a restaurant, and a young lady came in, and she wore something that I think she should only wear in the house. And I thought about it. It's like, how does she see herself? Or how does she want us to see her coming out of the house dressed the way that she chose to dress? And it's not just a woman conversation, even though we know that, you know, when it comes to looks and clothing and all these image conversations, it's really focused on the woman because we wear ours all over us. But it's a man conversation too. So then I started watching the men, and it's like, so you're dressing this way. You're behaving this way.
Yeah, yeah.
What conversation are you having then? What do you want us to, what in your appearance do you want us to gather about you based on what you've chosen to wear out of the house?
Yeah,
And that's really what started this dialogue in my head, and I wanted to I got to talk about this with just other people. So welcome to this conversation with me.
Thank you. And I mean, when you see that, you know, it's generally, it usually isn't going to work well if you wanted to approach the person about it.
Oh,
because,
no.
of course,
Yes.
you know, they have people around them who, you know, might say, oh, girl, you look good, you know? So it's about loving people, accepting people as they are, you know? Because when I was young, there were older women who looked at me like, ooh, that is too short. I had all those comments, but I'm just like, I'm young, you know, this is what we do. And, you know, and it's not necessarily going to determine who I'm going to become in life or any of that. So I think that we need to be more accepting of one another, to look past what we see on the outside from both sides, you know, that young girl that you think, you know, and then what shaped my own perceptions, you know? Why do I think that they should have kept their house shoes at the house or whatever? I don't, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, we just keep our internal conversations internal and keep it moving. Exactly.
I mean, we're going to formulate opinions, of course. It's just a natural thing that happens.
Yeah.
But I think that we always need to test whatever's going through our mind with our motives and our mind frame, and what can I do with the people around me that I know or whatever. Or if I see some things that I can't necessarily affect, I just pray about it. Because I'm just like, you know what, God, you can send somebody to minister to whatever that issue is in that person, if there is even one, you know, and then help me judge myself. You know, where am I right now?
Yeah, exactly. And on that, we'll take a break. We'll be back.
ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
We're having a great time here today. I want to thank Miss Eva Jane Bunkley again for stopping by and talking with us a little bit about image and self-esteem. But now, I'm really excited because joining me here is Miss Lady Divine, all the way from North Carolina today. Welcome to It's Just Us officially. We did on location in North Carolina, and now you're here in Atlanta, so welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's good to see you.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, looking good.
Thank you. I tried.
Yeah. So what's going on with you? Introduce yourself first of all to our audience.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Lady Divine. I am a spoken word artist out of Greenville, North Carolina. I love what I do. It's really wonderful being able to share your own story. And in sharing your own story, not only do you continue to gain healing from anything that you've been through, but you can also help someone else gain that healing as well. And that's always been my mission.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is your story?
My mother, my sister, and I, we've all been a band that has joined together to overcome quite a bit of adversity. And growing up, I've gotten to watch my mom go through everything that she's gone through, and she still, maintained everything.
Yeah.
She never skipped a beat. And it's an honor to get to know her as an adult now. And she's really my inspiration. She really is. And I love you, Mom.
I know it's going to say, let me change it because it's going to come to need some attention in just a minute. I feel it coming already. Yeah. When did you know that you wanted to do spoken word poetry as part of an expression of who you are?
Poetry actually found me. I was a little girl and we were cleaning out my bookshelf. I had read all my books in my house, and so we were trying to clean them out so we can get some more. And I found a poem that I had written in like preschool. I don't remember writing it, but it was in my handwriting, and I wrote my name at the bottom. And I was like, "Mommy, look what I found!" And she said it was really good. And that was kind of my moment. I was like, "Okay, if I did this well as a little girl, imagine what I can do now."
Yeah.
And so. My mom got me a marble composition book, and to this day, that is the only thing I write in, those 99-cent marble composition books. And it just took off from there. It became like a diary. My best friend was my notebook.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, especially from authors who say, I was just writing and just getting it out, and it became this thing, this book, this novel, or whatever.
Yes.
So it just became part of who you are.
Yes, ma'am.
What have been some of your ahas along the way on your journey?
I think the first aha moment for me, I was a quiet poet for a long time. Nobody knew I wrote poetry. It was the moment when I helped start a poetry organization in my high school. That was my first aha moment. And we had a showcase at the end of the year. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, you did so good." I was so nervous because my first time being in front of people. And it was awesome. So that was my first aha moment. And once you get the first rush of being on stage, you hunger for it more and more. So that was my first one. My second aha moment was when I first met you and Miss Hilda. And she was hard on me, but she told me one thing, and it stuck with me ever since. She said, anytime you go on stage, just tell the truth. If you tell the truth, they will rock with you every time. And it's really been something that
It's been your aha.
It has been.
Wow.
It has been.
And that was 3-4 years ago, something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have just seen, you were really like wow then, and now you're like wow now. So it's like I've watched you, I want to say grow up in this, but you were already grown really when I met you. But so you're just doing it. You're just doing it.
God is awesome. He's really brought me through a complete evolution, and I love who I am today. And there's not too many people that can honestly say that. And I really love who I am today. He's the one.
He's the one.
Yes.
So what are you working on today? What's going on with you?
I am currently working on my second project. I'm excited about it. I don't want to give too many details just yet.
It's just us.
It's just us.
Yes.
But it will be called Writing to Exhale. And it's a
Enough
play.
said.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And another bit of good news, I just found out 2 days ago that I was nominated for the National Poetry Awards in 2 categories for Best Video of the Year and Best Album of the Year.
Wow, nice.
So I'm truly humbled, and I give God all the glory, because I didn't know I made that much of an impact for someone to want to nominate me for it's the National Poetry Awards. That's huge.
Yeah, that is.
So
Congratulations.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's go to the stage. Your first performance. What were you feeling? What, if you can go, I know that's been like many moons ago now, but what was going through your mind? I'm finally here. What were you thinking?
I was scared. My biggest thing was don't forget your lines, and that's actually what happened. I forgot. It was close to the end of the poem. I forgot my lines. I played it off, but because it was about I was speaking through the perspective of an elderly woman.
Okay.
And so when it got to the point where she was saying, if she had to go home today, she could be happy knowing that her family was complete. So that was the part where I started to forget. So everybody was like, oh my God, that dramatic pause was so wonderful. And I was like, thank you so much.
So you worked hard for that pause. That's good stuff.
Yes, but I was just so nervous.
Yeah.
But once you get the nerves out of the way, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, I'm going to stop the questions right here because I want to give you plenty of time to perform today for us.
Thank you.
So when we come back, Miss Lady Divine, I want to call her somebody else because I met her as someone else, but she is truly Lady Divine today. She's coming back with a performance piece. It's Just Us. We'll be right back.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
This piece is dedicated to my mother, my best friend. This is for you. You are the definition of woman to me. My skin is black. My arms are long. My hair is woolly. My back is strong. Strong enough to take the pain. Inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is Aunt Sarah. Aunt Sarah. Grace exudes from you. Blessings fall from the follicles of your mane. When God sent you here, He used the tears of joy from His face to wet the clay from which He crafted you. Class becomes you. Can't nobody do this thing like my mama do. See, when God sent you here, He had to craft a new sun just to find the perfect tone of grace to shine on you. Matriarch, essence of beauty, abundance of strength, you are woman. a force to be reckoned with. Demons tremble at just the sound waves of your stand and sit. You are power. Wonder-working power decorates your womb. Angels wait in line to sit on your shoulder just for a chance to walk with you. See, your Savior could not be more proud of the work that you have done. For you went forth and multiplied your seed and still maintained your cloak drenched in Proverbs 31. You, the woman scribed by Maya Angelou. You, the holder of the switch that every child should answer to. You, rubies decorate your pupils. Gold dances in your smile. Favor saturates your voice. And in a competition of a woman so fair, my dear, you are the only choice. God's most sacred jewel. Longevity on this side of heaven welcomes you just so that we can have an extra moment to savor the greatness of you. You are woman. I honor you. I love you. I treasure you. Woman. My skin is brown. Yeah. My skin is brown. My manner is tough. I killed the first mother I see. Hey, my life has been rough. I'm awfully bitter these days because my parents were slaves. Ooh, what do they call me?
It's just us. Thank you, Lady Divine. What a wonderful way to end the show. A show talking about image and self-esteem, especially for women. What a wonderful way to end this show. Thank you so much, Lady Divine. I want to thank also Eva Jane Bunkley for stopping by. You can reach out to us via email at itsjustustalkshow@gmail.com. We love to get your guest considerations and show ideas. Also, join us on social networks. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. It's Just Us. I'm Charlene Bowden. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, I hope you continue to happen to life. Take good care.